Take a look at the performance version of Beat It. It's a little more complicated because each bar kind of tends to be different. Has a lot of the same structure as the album version with a little bit of extra flair. So section A is the exact same. Just count in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and get ready for the 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Section B, quarter notes on the hi-hat and a little fill on the final bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, a little bit slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... That fill is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and obviously do the hi-hat half open so it can bark a little bit. Section C is just your standard format. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Section D is a little bit tricky. Let's walk through it nice and slow, and then I'll tell you what the differences are. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So he'll do that hi-hat bark in the second half on the 1 and then the final 4. He'll also shift that kick pattern in the first half to the and 4. So let's look at all of it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Section F, pretty straightforward. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Section G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... H, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Section I, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Quarter notes on the hi-hat and a little fill on the final bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, a little bit slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 that fill is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and obviously do the hi-hat half open so it can bark a little bit. Section K, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 you've seen this before with that fill at the end. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. Back to the green, you've seen this before. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 one and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and pretty similar to what you've done. The second half has a little bit of an adjustment for a fill at the end. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. So for this one, the last bar, you just have to be ready to make that turnaround. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Section M starts the bridge, and this is where you really have to make sure you count because the second half of each of these lines feels a little, to me, like random or late, but I'm sure it's on purpose, but you just have to count. So all the way through. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 so look at the last two bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 so again, look at that second half. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so basically you play it like normal. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and all you're adding for the fill is 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... For this one, it's a little trickier. You have to add the extra kick on the final bar. And you can see it caught me off guard right there too. So let me show you the whole thing again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Going to wrap up the bridge and get you ready for the solo, but it's tricky, so you do have to count because that little 3 and 4 and at the end, 3 and 4 and will catch you off guard if you're not paying attention. So from the beginning, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... But you always have to be ready after the and to crash on 1. So just the final 2 bars again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, slower, same 2 bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Even slower, last 2 bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, a little bit quicker now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. We'll now start off in the solo. You drop to quarter notes on the hi-hats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Or, if you want to play it how it's written like you should, you'll crash on that last and. Let me show you the whole thing again. This time I'm going to crash on the and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. 3 minutes and 10 seconds in the solo. You have to keep counting because this final bar, the and 3 and 4 and 1, is going to catch you off guard if you're not counting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1. Last 2 bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. A little bit quicker, the last 2 bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. I believe this is section Z, 3 minutes and 17 seconds. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... I think this gets us into the double letter sections with double A, more of the green. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and double B, same thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and double C. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. Double D back to the green. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and double E, more green. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and double F. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Double G is going to be tricky because the final bar, I don't know if he did this off time on purpose, but it's a little bit behind, so you have to count. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Now you would just apply the crash to other cymbals. Last two bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And remember that that following section of double H is basically tied into this section. So that very final bar is going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So combining that whole string, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1. Check those final two bars one last time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2.